Sick to my stomach, man. Sick to my stomach. Mistake after mistake after mistake. Year after year, it feels like. In these big moments, man, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. You can't blame coaching. You can't. I mean, this was the roster. I'm not saying we can't do this again, but this Ravens team had the roster. Defense, offense, historic offense. Lamar Jackson, 4 picks all season. Mark Andrews, touchdown machine all year. Lamar Jackson, security blanket. Can't catch a ball. 2 drops, 1 massive drop at the end there on the 2-point conversion. He fumbled the ball in midfield when we were driving to take the lead. I mean, it was just so many mistakes. 3 turnovers. I don't know how many drops. 3, 4 drops. You can't win a game like this. You can't win a game like this. Congrats to Buffalo. You're moving on. Obviously, we lost the game, so we got beat. But Buffalo just took care of the ball and let us make a million mistakes. Buffalo did win the trenches battle early in this game. They were selling out to stop Henry. I thought we had everything cooking on the first drive. Lamar zipped down the field on the first drive to Bateman. And then the Bills answered, had their run game going. I was shocked that we could not stop the run early in this game. We did end up stopping the run for a chunk of the game, but honestly, overall, the Bills ran for way too many yards on us, and the Ravens' number 1 rush defense didn't show up today as much as they should have. But it's hard for me to put this game on the defense. I mean, you have 3 turnovers, countless drops, just so many mistakes on offense, and the Bills score 27. This game, once again, is the Ravens beating the Ravens, and you can't argue otherwise. I cannot believe this just happened again.
First half, I had 2 costly turnovers. Me not holding the safety, me just knowing the coverage, me knowing it was man, through a BS interception. It was 7-7 at the time. I believe they scored after that. Battle back, fumble, snap, trying to make something happen. Couldn't throw. It was like a RPO play, so I couldn't really throw the ball to likely. The offensive line was down the field, so I was trying to make something happen. Tried to squeeze the ball, it slipped out my hand. Von Miller picked it up, got some yards. I think that led to points for them. So it's a team effort out there. He been busting his behind, he making plays happen out there on that field for us. Came up short. And like I've been saying all season, every time we in situations like this, turnovers play a factor. Penalties play a factor. Tonight, the turnovers, you can't have that shit, And that's why we lost the game, because as you can see, we moving the ball wonderfully. It's hold on to the fucking ball. I'm sorry for my language, but this shit annoying. I'm tired of this shit, man.
I mean, everyone's going to be calling for Mark Andrews' head. He had an awful game. I totally get it. But Mark's balled this year. And then just had an absolute meltdown in this game. That 2-point conversion drop is unbelievable. And who knows, the Bills could have marched down the field. They had 1:30 left. They could have marched down the field and kicked a game-winning field goal. I thought we scored with too much time left, but what are you going to do? You got to score when you could score, right? Bateman gets hurt. We got no Zay Flowers. We have no receivers out there. Lamar Jackson puts it all together on an incredible drive after a not-so-great game. Has an incredible drive when it matters most, a career-defining drive, puts it in the end zone till Isaiah Likely gets the 2-point conversion, essentially, hitting Mark Andrews wide open, and he drops it. Dropped one earlier in the game. Derrick Henry dropped one early in the game. Derrick Henry only had 16 carries in this game. I thought we should have ran him a bit more. I understand there were some game circumstances there where you couldn't probably get him to like 30 carries, but there was that one time we were in the red zone on the 2-yard line and we're passing on second down is mind-blowing. And then you don't get it. Now you're passing on third down. This is not my usual organized reaction where I'm recapping every aspect of this game because I'm emotional right now, man, and I'm mind blown. I'm shocked. I'm confused. Like I said, congrats to Buffalo. If you're a Bills fan, you guys won fair and square. I'm not saying that you don't deserve this victory. I'm just upset that the Ravens crumble and beat themselves again. I cannot believe it. And there's no excuse. I don't care about the weather. I don't care about it being, a light rain, snow mix, whatever. It wasn't that bad, man. The Bills weren't dropping the ball. The Bills weren't fumbling the ball. The Bills didn't throw an interception. And you could blame, I guess, the defense a little bit for not being as opportunistic. But I'm telling you, the Bills played pretty conservative and just let the Ravens make the mistakes, which is smart. I mean, that's a very smart way to play this game. It's just annoying from the other side of it because I'm looking at this and it's like 27-25 and we made almost every mistake in the world. You know what I mean? This is a totally different game if we don't have those turnovers, if we catch the ball. If Mark Andrews catches the 2-point conversion, we're tied. We get another chance to get a stop. Who knows? Like I said, Allen could have went down, kicked a field goal, no doubt, but we don't know. We'll never know. I'm just left here wondering, like, what else can we do from a roster standpoint? I really don't think this team could be much better. We definitely didn't have the best injury luck heading into this postseason. Losing Zay Flowers did not help at all. But that's not an excuse in this game. We could have won this game by just not making as many mistakes as we did. We came out in this game early. That first half was awful. 21-10 at halftime. I mean, you're still in it at that point. We still had many opportunities to win the game. We ended up winning the third quarter 9-0, but that first half was brutal. The interception, which actually didn't lead to anything. Buffalo didn't score at all off that interception, so I guess you can kind of cancel that out. And then the bad snap by Tyler Linderbaum. Lamar grabs it, tries to shake a dude, kind of careless with the ball, gets tackled, drops the ball. They take it. Von Miller takes it like 40, 50 yards downfield. Now all of a sudden they're in scoring range. You just can't have stuff like that, man. Shout out to the Bills for capitalizing on it, but we got to hold on to the ball. Mark Andrews getting the ball punched out at midfield when we're driving to take the lead. It's a 5-point game. We score a touchdown. We're up 2. The pressure's now on Buffalo. Mark Andrews gets it punched out at midfield. Why are we not focused on holding on to the ball? It's just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing that we crumble in a big moment like this. And it's happened too many damn times. But let's look at these stats. Lamar Jackson, 18 of 25, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception, 2 sacks. Finished with 114 passer rating. Lamar did have a solid game outside of those 2 turnovers, and I know they're massive. I don't want to discredit those turnovers. I mean, that fumble was huge. The pick didn't lead to any points, but that fumble was a game changer. But other than that, I thought Lamar did have a good game. I wish he would have ran a little bit more, especially in the first half when the Bills were crashing and completely selling out to stop Henry. Lamar should have been pulling it. We saw Pittsburgh do that last week as well. You know, early in the game, we couldn't run with Henry against Pittsburgh either. But Lamar, like 4 or 5 straight times, just pulled it to the edge and ran for 15 yards. And then all of a sudden, the defense opened up. We didn't see Lamar take off too much in this game. Derrick Henry only had 16 carries. It does feel low, man. I wish he would have had, 10 more, honestly. He's averaging 5 yards a carry, 84 yards, a touchdown. Justice Hill was running hard, too. Shout out to Justice Hill. 6 carries for 50 yards. Lamar, 6 carries for 39. I just felt like he should have had more runs. And then receiving, Isaiah Likely led the way. 4 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Big game from him, honestly. He stepped up. Rashad Bateman, 4 for 66 and a touchdown. He stepped up, too. Huge Rashad Bateman game. I know he got hurt at the end. Mark Andrews, 5 for 61. Mark really let us down. I feel for him, though. I do. I know everyone's going to be heated at him. Tylan Wallace had a big catch, 1 for 27 on that last drive. Anthony Miller caught 1 for 16. The Ravens still had 176 yards on the ground, and I feel like we should have ran even more. I mean, we should have easily been over 200 on this game. We could have ran all over them. You saw that in the third quarter. And then on defense, Kyle Hamilton led the way with 9 tackles. Roquan, 8 tackles. Van Noy and Matabike had half sacks, but not a ton of pressure. Buffalo didn't really throw a ton to get a lot of sacks, man. They got the ball out quick, and they ran a lot. They definitely just played safe and conservative because we were making a million mistakes. Heading over to the Bills, Josh Allen, 16 of 22 for only 127 yards. 127 passing yards. 0 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, was sacked once. James Cook, 17 for 67 on the ground, averaging 3.9 a carry. Nothing crazy. Ty Johnson, 5 for 31. Ray Davis, 4 for 29. Josh Allen had 10 carries for 20 yards, 2 touchdowns. So that was massive in the red zone. He was definitely efficient pounding that rock in, but he didn't run all over us or throw all over us. I mean, Josh Allen has 147 total yards in this game. Buffalo did rush for 147 total as well on the ground, and that's too much. The Ravens usually don't let up that much. And then receiving, Shakir had 6 catches for 67 yards. James Cook, 3 for 15. That's it, man. 127 total receiving yards. I'm sick. I'm sick because we just didn't execute and play our best ball today. I mean, that's really what it came down to. We just did not play clean Ravens football. We had a million mistakes in a game where you can't have that many mistakes. We almost were able to get away with it. We almost tied the game at the end with all those mistakes. I don't know what else to even say. I'm sure I'll get my thoughts together as this week goes. And we just turn our attention to next season, to be honest with you. How can we improve this team? What can we do in the offseason? What changes need to happen? I honestly don't know. I don't know. It's just about executing in this big moment. There's not a lot of changes that need to be happen. I mean, we can nitpick some play calls here and there. Like I said, when we were down on the 2-yard line, I felt like we should have ran 4 straight times, so that's all monking a bit. We can talk about whether we need to improve the offensive line to have even more of a dominant offensive line. Not that they played awful. I mean, they definitely lost the trenches battle early in this game. Buffalo was bringing a lot of pressure, which is a good move, and we usually react better to that. We've been great against the blitz, and I just feel like we didn't handle it very well, and Lamar wasn't pulling it and running either, so I can't wait to kind of watch the film to see if maybe he didn't really have a lane, but it looked like he could have hit the edge a few times and just kept the ball, and we didn't get a lot of Lamar Jackson runs in this game, and we got a lot of Bills crashing to Derrick Henry, but that run game opened up. I'm not going to sit here and act like the offensive line just got beat all game long. There was a drive there in the third quarter where it was like, uh-oh, this game has completely turned, and the Ravens are now the more physical team. And then Mark Andrews gets stripped at midfield, and it all kind of goes away. The Ravens have more than enough to go win a Super Bowl. We have more than enough on this roster right now. The coaching staff's good enough. There's nothing here that really needs to be thrown out like that. But why aren't we able to execute in these big moments year after year? It just blows my mind. I mean, this is not getting out-schemed, like we just didn't catch the ball. We're fumbling the ball. Like if these fumbles didn't happen, and credit to the Bills for punching the ball out and forcing a turnover, but to be honest with you, you got to hold on to the ball. That's on Mark Andrews. I don't care who's punching it. You know what I mean? Just like Zay Flowers last year in the KC game when he's diving for the end zone. Like you got to be more aware in bigger moments that the defense is trying to punch the ball out. And for some reason, we were careless tonight. And it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. I don't have a good reason for it. There's not an easy fix. This is not a bad team. This team is good enough as is. It really is. You know what I mean? I know a million people are going to be like, we need to get rid of Mark Andrews. He's done. He's washed. He had an awful game. He let us down big time. No doubt. No doubt. But Mark's balled this season. I can't sit here and say that Mark's hurting us moving forward. I mean, it's just not the case. It's not the case. If it's a financial decision, then I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm pretty sure Mark Andrews is going to get an extension. I don't think he's just going to get let go. I don't think this game defines what Mark Andrews has done in his career, an all-time Ravens franchise touchdown leader. Like, I feel bad for Mark Andrews. I'm also pissed at Mark Andrews. I think we can be both, you know what I mean? Like, I feel for him because that's not who he is. He's not a guy who just drops balls. He dropped 2 passes, one of them being the game, and then he fumbled at midfield when we were driving to take the lead. I mean, he choked the game away. There's no doubt about it. And you know, the pressure that he's going to feel from this is not unwarranted. I just feel for him. He's done a lot to help this franchise, and that Mark Andrews we saw tonight is one that is just like not playing his best ball or is in his head or something. I don't know. That's not the Mark that shows up every week. This Ravens team that showed up tonight isn't the Ravens team that we watched most of this season. So I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm sure I'll have more thoughts. I'm not going anywhere. I'm making videos all off season. I'll be here consistently, man. I'm not going anywhere, and we'll just direct our attention to what's next, what can be fixed. It's going to be hard to watch that AFC Championship next week. Enjoy it, Buffalo fans. Hope you beat Kansas City and go all the way at this point, I guess. I don't even know who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for somebody in the NFC. I don't want anybody in the AFC to win. I'm going to have a hard time even watching the AFC Championship in the Super Bowl. I have no interest right now. I'm going to sit here and try to process how I feel about this game and come back this week with more thoughts about what we can possibly do and watch this game, I guess. It's going to be painful watch. I don't even know if I want to watch this film of this game. I mean, it's just mistakes, man. Mistakes. If we did not make all these mistakes, there's no doubt in my mind we win this game. We almost tied it with all these mistakes. It's frustrating. It's sickening. But congrats to all the Bills fans that are watching. You guys got the win. You deserve the win. And Ravens fans that are watching, you're strong. I probably wouldn't be here if I didn't run a YouTube channel. I don't think I'd want to be watching much content, but I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for this journey that we've been on this season. It did not end the way that we wanted or thought that this journey would end. This team was too damn good to go out like this. And yeah, I'm just hoping we can keep Henry and run this thing back, and next season feels like light years away at this point. So it's not going to feel good. This is going to sting. This is going to be a frustrating loss for months. There's no doubt. There's no doubt, but it is what it is. Can't control it. We're just fans. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your night, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. The Flock Rundown. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense.